Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Manal Ayesh from Access, and today we're going to be talking about anxiety in the new generations. We're going to talk about the triggers and how to help and intervene. So, what are we going to cover in the presentation today? We're going to talk about anxiety. So, what is anxiety? What are the triggers, the signs of anxiety, intervention, and how to support your child with their anxiety? Also, we're going to talk about understanding the link between stress, anxiety, and mental health. Also, we're going to talk about how to reduce anxiety in the new generation and what are the strategies to manage anxiety. And also, what are our roles as parents? So first, let's start with what is anxiety? So anxiety is a normal response to stress. It's normal to have anxiety. It's a feeling. This is what I usually tell the students and I tell the kids. Um, It's a feeling of fear and uneasiness. It might cause the person to sweat. These are like physical symptoms. Feel restless and tense. Also, they can have rapid heartbeat. It can be a normal reaction to stress. For example, if the person might feel anxious when they have an exam, or before they take a test, or before making an important decision. So us as adults or our children, we can both experience anxiety. And again, it's a normal feeling. But if we don't take care of it, it can become more serious. For the students or for the kids, it can help them if they're anxious before a test. It actually can help them cope. Um, it can give them like a boost of energy to work harder, to study more. Okay. And it can help them focus. But if they don't take care of it, again, as I said, it can become an issue and they can get anxiety disorders. So, what are anxiety disorders and types? Anxiety disorders are conditions in which you have anxiety that does not go away, and it even gets worse over time. And that's when our kids and adults will need, um, uh, they need to seek for more help, for professional help. Okay. Um, Anxiety disorder types, there's generalized anxiety disorder, there's panic disorders, and there's phobia. Why is anxiety on the rise in the new generation? We do see a lot of the students, a lot of the kids, a lot of children have anxiety, even as I said, us as adults. Why is that? Because, of course, we always blame technology and social media, which is there's a lot of good things out in on social media, and we can benefit from technology as well. But unfortunately, the misuse of social media and technology can um, cause anxiety and can make our stress and anxiety become worse. Okay, so constant exposure to curated lives and comparisons. So when they keep comparing themselves to other lives that are on social media, they have perfect lives. If they keep comparing themselves to what's on social media, they're gonna feel stressed. They're gonna feel anxious. They're gonna feel sad. Why can't we be like them? That's why we have to put and set up rules for the use of social media for our children. Also, cyberbullying and fear of missing out. Um, if our children get bullied on social media or um, on the internet or using social media, then that's what cyberbullying is. And they don't know how to deal with it. They bottle it up. They don't talk about it. Then that's gonna make them feel anxious. Gonna make them feel sad. they're not going to be able to deal with it and um, uh, like fix that issue. Also, fear of missing out. They just keep checking and exploring and checking all these followers or all these influencers, how they're living. They don't want to miss anything. They just want to keep checking their their pages, their accounts, because they don't want to miss anything from their social media lives. Also, academic pressure, intense competition, and focus on achievement. So if they say like, if us as parents, we keep pressuring them academically, like you have to get an A, you have to be on honor roll this year, you can't get any less than A minus. So we just look for them to be perfect. We just look for achievements, not for their effort. That's when they feel pressured and they become anxious and they become overwhelmed. So for us as parents, let's focus on their effort and praise their effort, not only achievement. Also, overscheduling, reduced downtime for free play or relaxation. So if they don't have their own free time, like for our children, if they don't have free time, if they don't take breaks, then that's going to be overwhelming, and that's going to make them very anxious and going to make their anxiety get worse. So what are the triggers for anxiety? We have more than one trigger here. Okay, we have individual triggers, we have family triggers, social triggers, excuse me, and cultural triggers. We also have substance use. That's also a trigger. Okay, let's talk about the first one. So individual triggers. So we're going to talk about if they have genetic predisposition or family history of anxiety. Also, personality traits like perfectionism. Um, if you, as a parent, you want everything perfect, um, then and you ask your child to be perfect as well. Like I know here it's talking about personality traits. Um, then that's gonna make them anxious all the time. Oh, my mom or my dad or um, my parents are watching me. I have to be perfect all the time. I can't make a mistake. That's gonna make them anxious all the time, and have anxiety. Also, family triggers. So family conflict, such as divorce or high parental expectations. As we said, if you're expecting your child to be perfect all the time, to be perfect academically, or even his behavior or her behavior, to be perfect all the time, then it's hard for them to act themselves. Um, and also it's hard for them to grow and make their personality grow as well. So let's relax and like take it easy on our kids or on our children. Um, make sure we give them space. Okay, um, I know like a lot of situations, a lot of family situations happen, but in some things we can't control, but in the things that we can control, let's take it easy on them. Also, overprotective parenting. That's also what I was just talking about. Um, we can't be like we can't always be like a helicopter parent. Um, let's give them their space. Make sure we're protecting them. Make sure that they deal with situations on their own, but we are there for them. Okay, so you give them the tools, you teach them, but you're not going to be there for them for the rest of their lives. This is what we always have to think about. Us as parents, I know um, a lot of parents, like a lot of culture, like we have different cultures. We have more than one culture. So a lot of parents, like for if out of parents sometimes, um, we think that our kids, they're going to be there for us for all of our life, or we're going to be there controlling them all of our life. I don't want to say only out of parents, but like usually um, we are like, I don't want to say we also, but it's usually like we think like, I know family is very important for everybody, but for us, like it can be like they can finish high school, they can finish college, and they're still living with their parents, which is, I don't see this as wrong. It's up to the parents and it's up to the family, but we can't be overprotecting and overprotecting parents. Okay, you give them the tool, you teach them, you give them the I say like a ruler, okay, a measuring tape, for example. This is you. This is your life. We gave you the tools. Then go ahead, proceed in your life. Okay, we can't be overprotecting them because that's going to make them more anxious. Also, social triggers, um, such as bullying, peer pressure, and social rejection. I know how bullying can be so hard for a lot of students, a lot of kids, and it can always when they go, for example, if they go back to the same place that they were bullied in, they're gonna have the same feeling. They're gonna become anxious. They're gonna become stressed out. Also peer pressure. We have to teach them that you can only get, if there's a peer pressure, there's a positive peer pressure, there's a negative peer pressure. You never allow anyone to pressure you in a way that doesn't make, like, that if anyone make you feel uncomfortable, you can tell them that this is making me uncomfortable. Don't let anyone pressure you. Okay? There's a good peer pressure. There's a positive peer pressure. That's fine. But the negative peer pressure, stay away from it. Surround your kids, surround your children with friends and friend groups that are positive, that are good for them, that are gonna pressure them in a positive way. Also, difficulty navigating friendships. A lot of students or a lot of kids, they don't know how to build friendships. They don't know how to deal with friends. They just want to feel accepted. They will go with anyone um, that will tell them, "Okay, come and be my friend," or "Do you want to be my friend? You have to do this or that, or you have to go bully someone, or you have to go make do something." That's also kind of pressure. Okay, make sure you work with your child on helping him choose a good friend. Okay, if they're struggling to make friendship or they're struggling to make friends, talk to the teacher, talk to the counselor, talk to the principal. Okay, my son or my daughter, they're struggling, they can't find or make or build a friendship. How can we help him or help her? And I'm sure they're gonna find you the help that you need. Also, cultural triggers, exposure to unsettling news, the news that we keep hearing most of the time, especially now, what's going on in the country or what's going on out of the country, that's also causing a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. We can't like hide or stay in a place without like hearing all these news and all these things that's going up or going on. These are also triggers for anxiety. Unrealistic society norms around beauty, success, or wealth. So this is also they're comparing themselves if they see something on social media or they see something around. They just want to be like the picture, for example, the filters that they have on social media. They'll say, why does her skin look so perfect? Why does her face look so perfect? Why does his face look so perfect? Or their picture looks so perfect. Why do I have acne and they don't have acne? That's going to make them stressed out as well. We have to make sure to tell them that that's unrealistic, that's not real. They're just showing you the perfect picture, the perfect image. They're not showing you the bad side of their lives. Because if they're showing you the bad side of their lives, then you're not going to be following them. So, or you're not going to be watching them. You just want to watch something that's going to make you happy, that's going to make you feel, oh, that's perfect, that's nice, let's watch it. So let's talk also the fifth trigger is substance use. This is very important for our youth, for our teens. It's very important to talk about substance use and how can it trigger anxiety. So unfortunately, a lot of people will think that um, using substances can help them cope um, with anxiety, with stress. That's not true. It makes it even worse, okay? Such as tobacco and vaping. So the nicotine does affect the brain chemistry, okay? And which increases the anxiety levels and it makes relaxation even harder. Um, Also, depending on using tobacco products or using vaping can also create a cycle of stress and withdrawal. So, if they get addicted to nicotine or they get addicted to tobacco products and they get addicted to vaping, that's going to make their stress even get worse because also after like they get addicted, they're going to become sick. And then when they become sick, then they're going to worry about their health. That's also what's going to make them even more anxious and more stressed out. Also marijuana. So a lot of people or some people believe that it calms their nerves. It makes them calm down. Um, High doses or frequent use can um, heighten paranoia and anxiety. So it can also trigger their mental health. Okay, it can trigger their mental health disorders. So you'll say, this person, he was so normal. What happened to him? He was never sick. What happened to him? How did he turn like that? Okay, it's because the marijuana triggers mental health disorders. So please, as parents, as adults, let's wake up, let's open our eyes and know marijuana, they say that it calms them. It's there if it's a medical marijuana, it's there for purposes, for medical purposes. Okay? Don't let your youth, don't let your teens use it because it triggers their mental health disorders. So also the vapes and tobacco. If they're not yet 25 and they're smoking or they're smoking or vaping, this does affect the chemistry of their brain. Their brain fully develops by the age of 25. If they use any tobacco product, if they use marijuana before the age of 25, then that's gonna affect their IQ, it's gonna affect the brain chemistry, and that's what's gonna affect their body and their mental health. Also, it can interfere with their emotional regulation, especially in developing brains. That's what I was exactly talking about. Their brain develops by the age of 25. If they smoke before that, then it's going to affect it emotionally and physically. So usually I say for like the students, sometimes they ask me, so we can't smoke before the age of 25. So is it okay to smoke after the age of 25? So research have shown that if they don't start before the age of 25, then it's harder for them to start after 25. Okay, so just keep it up like that. Let's tell them don't smoke before the age of 25. Okay. Okay, signs of anxiety in children and teens. There are emotional symptoms, behavioral symptoms, physical symptoms. So, emotional symptoms, excessive worry, fears, or sadness, also feeling overwhelmed or unable to cope. Okay, so these are the signs that you have to watch in your children and your teens. Okay, if you see their behavior, they're avoiding social situations or schools if they have difficulty concentrating. Okay, and you say, okay, he was not like that. Is everything okay? Um, for example, if they have a test coming up and they just don't know, like they're usually very good at studying, they just have a big test and they're very good at their grades. They want everything to be perfect. They just don't know what to do. Pick up the phone and call their therapist. Okay, find the person that can give them help. Okay, even if you as a parent can help them, we can help them, like teach them how to cook. We can teach them how to take deep breathing, um, how to practice mindfulness, how to meditate. But also, if it stays there and it's very difficult, please call their therapist, call their doctor, and get them professional help. The physical symptoms, they can get headaches, they can get stomach aches, muscle tension, and you will see them like fatigued most of the time. So let's talk now about understanding the link between stress, anxiety, and mental health. So stress is a natural response to challenging situations. It's okay, again, it's okay for us as adults, it's okay for our kids to feel stressed. But if it stays there, so if it's prolonged stress, can contribute to anxiety and mental health issues. If it stays there, it will churn or it will contribute to anxiety and mental health issues. Which anxiety is a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, often accompanied by physical symptoms such as increased heart rate or sweating. Mental health, um, So mental health encompasses our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It's essential to prioritize mental health alongside physical health. So we think we have to go for a walk, or we have to go for a walk. We have to. You think we have to just go to the gym and work, move our bodies, and practice on or focus on our physical health. We have to focus on our mental health. We have to teach our kids to focus also on their mental health. Okay? Take breaks. If you're stressed out, if you have tests, if it's testing season, if it's like for now, for example, it is testing. The kids are or students have testing in school. Don't get anxious. Don't get stressed out. It's okay. We'll give you the tool. You can, or we'll give you the techniques. You can go meditate, for example. You can take a deep breathing, take a deep breath. Okay. If you feel anxious before the test or stressed out, here, take this. It takes you less than a minute. Okay? Practice deep breathing. Okay? Square breathing. Put on YouTube, put square breathing. Okay? Put deep breathing. It will help them. Just teach them how to take a deep breath from their nose and then let it out from their mouth. Strategies to manage anxiety. So we have to focus on reducing stress. We have to set boundaries and we have to practice self-care. How to reduce stress? You need to identify and manage stressors. Okay, what stress you out? Okay, we know that it's testing season. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's learn the relaxation techniques. Okay, um, set boundaries. So you need to create a clear boundaries around technology. Okay, so social media or technology, you have to put or set up limits to watching on social media, to watching TV, for example, playing video games, for example. All these can trigger anxiety, and if you don't set boundaries for that, you have to you have to also limit the exposure to negative content. Okay, if you know that like some news are stressing people out or making stress in your home, this specific news is making your family stressed out, then don't put it for them. Okay, don't listen to it in front of them, or tell them, okay, let's not focus on that topic. Let's know our rights, for example. Let's know what we have to do when this news comes up, or when we are, for example, walking in the street and it happens. What can we do? Okay, you have to talk about it and prioritize offline activities. Also, practice self-care. You and your family need to engage in activities that bring joy and nourish the body with healthy foods, and prioritize adequate sleep. So focus on sleeping as well. Your children need sleeping to grow. Um, it's very important. What I say most of the time is your children need to be sleeping before 11 o'clock. So between 11 and 2, our kids need to be in deep sleep for them to grow healthier. Okay, because the growth hormone it increases in the body between 11 to 2, so they have to be in deep sleep. Okay, so make sure you guys focus on deep sleeping for the kids, or um, make sure that they have um, better, um, better sleeping, or adequate sleep. Intervention and how parents can help. Let's see how can us as parents help our kids. So we can encourage open communication. That's very important. Like, ask your kids, how was your school today? How was your test today? How's testing going? Okay. Um, if they tell you, yeah, it was good, but I'm not going to get a perfect grade, you tell them, did you try your best? They will say, yes, we did. That's all needed. Okay. That's all you need to do. Okay. You need to focus on their effort. Okay. As long as you tried your best, let's see the result. Okay, don't like don't focus on making um making them perfect. Okay, you tell them, as long as you tried your best, that's all we need from you. Okay, whatever the result that comes up, that's it. You did your part. Now the teacher has to do the other part. Also, create a safe space to talk about feelings without judgment, and avoid dismissing or minimizing their concerns. If they tell you that there's something concerning them, then you have to listen to that. Active listening is very crucial for our kids, for us as parents. We have to like just sit without judging, okay? Just listen to them without judging. um, Listen to them, how they're feeling, what's going on, if their friendship is not going okay, if someone is bothering them, if someone is bullying them. You have to have listening ears as parents. That will make them feel better. Also, we have to teach them coping skills. This is very important. When we teach them deep breathing, we teach them mindfulness, relaxation techniques. We have to teach them problem solving skills, okay? Because they have to be able to break the overwhelming tasks. Um, uh, okay, you have a test and you have homework at the same time. Let's start with what's most important first. So what's more important for you? Okay, we have to focus on our test. You didn't have time for the homework. You can tell your teacher tomorrow that um, you had a test that you had to study for, and you didn't have enough time to finish your homework. Okay, that's an option. The second option is, or that can be the second option. The first option is um, you can finish studying on your test, okay? And after we finish studying, let's work on the homework that we have. This is how, like, you can break the tasks or break the homework that you have into smaller tasks that can be manageable, and you can finish it step by step. Also, model healthy behavior. Us as parents, we have to model healthy behaviors. So if our kids are watching us in situations that we can't deal with it or we can't deal with them, then it's going to be harder for them to deal with that situation. They're going to copy our behavior. Okay. If I heard something on the news that I didn't like and it was so stressing out, and it made me feel anxious, and I go and I say, oh my god, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm so anxious, I'm so tired, I'm so afraid what's gonna happen. Then when they hear the news or hear the same news or they have a test or something, they will be like, oh my god, I don't know what to do, I'm so anxious. No, you teach them how to cope with that. Okay, you show them the behavior, the healthy behavior that they have to do when there's stressors coming, there are stressors coming up. Also, you have to maintain calm and supportive tone during conflicts. If you start yelling, if there's a conflict and there's an issue, you start yelling as a parent, then when there's another issue with your child, they're going to be yelling. Okay. um, you have to show them that you're supportive in that situation. If this in your own, like if it's your own situation, you have to show them how you cope with it, how you handle it, how you deal with it. This is how they learn. They copy our behavior, they copy our actions. Also, promote healthy habits. So you need to encourage physical activities, as we said, encourage adequate sleep and balanced diet. Also, you need to limit screen time and encourage hobbies or outdoor play. Just take them for a walk. Go walk in the nature. Of course, not like today. Today's snowing, but if the weather is good outside and they're not, they like they're stressed out, they're anxious, tell them, okay, let's go for a walk. Let's go for a ride. Okay, let's go drive somewhere. Let's go get some ice cream. Let's go get some coffee. Just make them feel comfortable. Okay, make them feel relaxed. The most important thing is teach them how to cope with their stress, with their anxiety. So, in conclusion, so anxiety is common, but it is treatable. Again, if you teach them the coping skills, that's all they need. Early recognition and support are crucial. If you need professional help, call the school, call the social worker, call their therapist, call their doctor, and tell them this is the situation. This is what's happening with my child. He's or she's anxious. Her situation or this anxiety's been there, it's been going on with her for a while or with him for a while. How can I proceed? How can I find more professional help? And then the doctor will tell you or recommend you where to go or where to take your child. Again, do not forget that you as a parent, you play a key role in creating supportive environment. So make sure that you take the strategies or the tips that we gave you today, and then use them with your parenting skills. Here are the resources that we have for today for you guys. And thank you so much, and you guys have a great weekend.
HES Academies have been serving the Detroit metro area for over 23 years, promoting academic excellence, leadership, and cultural diversity, ranking as some of the top schools in the state of Michigan. Our pre-K through 12th grade students enjoy tuition-free, state-accredited education by STEM certified and highly qualified staff with no geographical restrictions. and with advanced placement, college dual enrollment, scholarship, and Arabic language programs. Noor International Academy in Sterling Heights at niapsa.org, Star International Academy in Dearborn Heights and in Canton at starpsa.org, Universal Academy in Detroit at universalpsa.org, and Universal Learning Academy in Westland at ulapsa.org. Join HES Academies today and enjoy a free Chromebook for every enrolled student.